Good morning. While I sound a little congested and I want to apologize, after 3.5 years of avoiding COVID and getting vaccinated and boosted, I finally succumbed to it. Now that I'm negative, I wanted to put out a video on something that I think is pretty important to everybody, and certainly to a number of the folks that I speak to on a regular basis. Nearly every client I speak to, a potential client, has two main concerns. If they've not yet been sentenced or just charged, it's how do I get the best outcome at sentencing? What can I do now, separate from what my attorneys might be doing, to help me get the best outcome, whether it's a non-custodial sentence or the shortest possible sentence? And for those clients that have already been sentenced, how do I spend the least amount of time in prison? And certainly, if I am incarcerated, make it the most productive time possible, with the goal of getting out as quickly as possible. And I always explain to them, especially pre-sentence, if you have an opportunity to cooperate and you have something of value, that might be something for you to consider. I'm sure that your attorneys have asked you the question, or you might have heard the term proffer session, or you can be a queen for a day. And a proffer session is when you go and meet with the government with your attorney, and the government asks you questions, completely unfiltered questions that you must answer honestly. I tell clients, if you don't know the answer to the question, you have to tell them, I don't know. You can never guess, you can never assume. Because if you're not 100% forthright and truthful during a proffer session, anything you can and usually will say will be held against you. A proffer session is your opportunity to help the government and in turn help yourself in not only your matter, but potentially other matters of interest to the government. A reverse proffer, which will usually happen early in the process, is when the government might sit down with you and your attorney and explain to them their case against you and why it might be in your best interest to consider an early plea. But a proffer session, or where you are what's called a queen for the day, is your opportunity or opportunities, because many times you could have multiple proffer sessions over a period of months or some instances years, pre-sentencing, that you can tell the government why your story, your knowledge, your information can lead to more important charges against other people or in other circumstances that the government might have an interest in or a greater interest than your particular charge. And this could lead to an eventual 5K1 motion. And a 5K1 motion is when the government requests a downward departure because you provided substantial assistance through a proffer prior to sentencing. And when the government recommends a 5K1 motion, the judge will consider that at your sentencing, and it provides the judge an opportunity to greatly and substantially deviate from sentencing guidelines, and in nearly every instance, give you a much better outcome at sentencing. I know I gave you a lot of information, and in the email that's attached to this video, there's plenty of information provided. You're still going to have questions, and I encourage you not only to speak to your attorney, but give me a call. I can help you understand what your options are and guide you through this very, very difficult time. Thank you.